All right, evening. How we all doing? Well, made sure I got the live in before we get to the fight. I want to know what everyone's thoughts are. So, we get a few people in. Hope you like the new improved avatar. I like that one there. I like that one on screen. I think that's a good one. I'll get a few people in. We let the chat do its thing, and then we take it from there. It's not going to be a long one tonight, by the way. It's only going to be about an hour. Like, literally, I say that before, and it's ended up going on for a couple of hours. But no, this is definitely an hour one. This is an hour stream. Definitely. We get a couple of guys' opinions on the fight, and we see how it goes. Yeah, we like the avatar, don't we? That's a good one. I had that saved from ages ago, and I could never find it. I think it's fitting. I think that avatar fits perfect. Unlike the suit, I think the avatar fits perfect. Right? I think unlike the suit, the avatar fits perfect. It's all well and good. We got a few in the building. Big up to Mark for the €1. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps. I'll take it. I'm just trying to think what I can get for €1. But I'll take it. I'm just in from getting the haircut, by the way. Just in hair done. The old G-Man haircut parties on a Thursday. But I think this avatar works better. I think the avatar is good. Yeah. what we thinking of the avatar? But appreciate that. Big up to Unrival every single time, man. Happy you're in the building. So we are in fight week, right? Full blown. We're ready to go. Come what Saturday night. I want to know what we're all thinking. I want to know what everyone's thoughts are on this fight. Who do you have and why? I've seen Mark's prediction, and I'm not even gonna say who he picked. Go and check his video out. I watched it. Go and check his out. I've seen several other people's predictions videos, and it's kind of it's funny, right? Because it's split. I think the majority of people, right, when this fight, a bit like me, when this fight was first announced for November, me, along with a lot of others, had Povetkin. We're picking Povetkin outright. It's gone a bit all over the shop now, where everyone's kind of like, some are saying Povetkin, some are saying Dillian Whyte. People know my idea. I said Dillian Whyte, because I just think the fact that he's got a chance to recover from that bad knockout, and maybe he's not fully recovered, but the fact is he's not had to have what? I mean, like, he was knocked out at the end of August, right? So he's knocked out at the end of August, and he would have been fighting in the back end of November. That's what, roughly 3 months, give or take. Not enough time to recover. Now he's had that bit of time to recover. He's probably not going to be fully recovered, but at least it's something. And Povetkin's getting older. And I think that Povetkin, some people were saying that the quick turnaround would have hurt him. I don't know. I think the quick turnaround might have benefited him. Because, when you see fighters, especially when they've aged, they tend to, how do I word it? Inactivity tends to hurt them more the older they get. So when you see fighters who are in their like late 30s, early 40s, a quick turnaround is normally a good thing. Normally, not always, but sometimes it is. Because it means that sharpness stays there. That ring kind of memory, that muscle memory stays there. It's not a tremendous amount of time, 7 months, but it's still 7 months. It's still 7 months of age on a 42-year-old Povetkin. So we need to see. I reckon Dillian Whyte is going to take this fight, but I want to know what you guys think. I also want to know what you think of the undercard. The undercard's an interesting one. It's not the strongest. It's not the strongest undercard in the world, but it has some interesting fights and some interesting. That fight against Nick Webb, that's interesting. Big up to Rich for the live. Can't see Whyte lose in KO in 5. Funny thing is, I reckon if he KOs Povetkin, it's probably going to be late. Like, I'm talking between rounds 8 to 10. I reckon that's when he's going to get the stoppage. Just purely because I reckon that Dillian Whyte is going to be super cautious early on. So I can't see him engaging at all with Povetkin early on. I could see him just trying to do what he did the first fight in box. That's what I think. King Carlos, how's it going, G-Man? It's all good. The avatar is brilliant. The avatar is absolutely top-notch. My man D, how are you, my man? I hope everything is going well with you. I've been missing the lives lately. That's one thing. I've been missing the lives, but man, big up to you. I know April 1st. That's next week. Yeah, it is next week. It's next Thursday. It's this day week, isn't it? Speaker Mind Sports is fully the zone. You know, their little strangle, that's gone. And D, big up to you, man, every time. He's my guy for mid-afternoon live streams. Always hop on and have a listen. Always. Lucas says, new profile, G-Man. I like it. Is that from you at your debs? Definitely not, man. I look slick. I didn't look like, well, good old pricey. You know, good old pricey. Big up to Graham Taylor every time, man. Big up to you, my man. Nick Harmer in the chat. Big up to G-Man and the chat. And lads, if you could, by the way, just asking. Only asking, just asking. Smash the like button on the way in. Doesn't cost a penny. Doesn't cost an absolute penny. And big up to Penny, by the way. Here on time. Yeah, the avatar is perfect. I want to big up to D. Thank you for that. I appreciate that, D. If you like €1 is okay. I guess $2 is cool. How much is $2? I think it's like, it's roughly the same, isn't it? No, that YouTube will take 32% of it anyway. But I appreciate that, D. Thank you. Supporting Speaker Mind Sports and supporting my channel as well. There we go. Man, big up to D every time. It would have been more if you got a party invite. Well, you know, man, it slipped my mind. You know, I've got a lot going on nowadays, man. You know, a lot going on. You know, nowadays. So you know, it slipped my mind, bro. It slipped my mind. You know, like a lot of things these days. You know, like a lot of things these days, they slip my mind. True, it's no one has a clue. Yeah, no one has a clue. Like I'm saying here, that Dillian Whyte's going to win. I honestly couldn't tell you. Like, I reckon just based upon everything, and I don't have that. Like, I know I talked about it before, but when you have that bit of intuition, it is kind of good because I was kind of in my head. I couldn't get away in the last time from thinking Povetkin was going to win. Even though I picked Dillian Whyte, I had that, you know, you just have that nagging feeling. It's like, he's going to win. He's going to do it. And I'm just like, nah, he's too old. He's this, that. And he goes and does it. I don't have that this time. For me, it's just spot on Dillian Whyte, you know? Although he's been knocked out once before, he could get knocked out again. But yeah. For me, it's just Dillian Whyte. Thoughts on Congo versus Meckinson? Yeah, I hadn't seen much of, what is it, Chris Meckinson, I think the guy's name is. I hadn't seen much of him. Had a look at him. Chris Congo's going to win. Just depends how good his chin is. Meckinson. Now, if I'm saying it wrong, Mark will no doubt correct me. Thank you for that, Mark. That's why we need Unrival in the chat. You know, we need Unrival in all these live streams, right? Mark, and you already have a spanner, but I need you to correct me. Excuse me. I need you to correct me when I mess up names, because it's going to happen. Even the easiest name, I'll mess it up. So I need you in here to correct me. That's what we need. That's why Unrival's here, man. That's why Unrival's here, man. He's the spanner, right? So he's a high level on this channel, and I need him to correct me when I cock up names, because I still wasn't 100%. I'm still not 100% sure on how you mentioned the guy's name, the French guy, Obale. Still not 100% tops on him. So that's what we need Mark for. Obale, what was the guy? Cleanest, the guy who manages Usyk. There's a good few that I'm still struggling with, right? And believe you me, anyone can get it. You don't have to be Eastern European. There's British names I've absolutely made howlers of. So anyone can get it when it comes to names. The fact that Dillian seems to have organized his body so much, if true, I think Dillian Whyte has a chance. I believe he can win. Yeah, look, I'm convinced both guys are going to be in absolute peak shape. You know, Povetkin training in Russia, Dillian Whyte training over there in Portugal. It's just a case of how's Dillian Whyte's chin. Like, I reckon win or lose, Dillian Whyte is going to get dropped in this fight. Win or lose. I'm not saying how heavy it'll be. He could get knocked out cold again, but I reckon win or lose, he's getting knocked out. Or he's getting knocked down, I should say. Win or lose, he's definitely getting knocked down. How is Povetkin going to be after getting COVID, though? Well, we need to see. Well, To be fair, I looked at him at the public workout yesterday, and he looked all right on the pads. He looked every bit his old self. So we need to see about that. We need to have a look. See, at the end of the day, anyone can look good on the pads, right? Anyone can. It's what happens on fight night. And when I saw Dillian Whyte at fight camp last year, that was the worst. Not Dillian Whyte, Povetkin at fight camp last year. That was the worst I ever seen him. That was the worst I ever seen Povetkin in the ring. I'm telling you now, his timing looked way all over the place. It really did. And if his timing's not got any better, obviously the timing for the uppercut was perfect, but before that, he just looked a shell of himself. He really did. And that Michael Hunter fight before was tough. So I suspect that Povetkin now, given a year later, given the fact he was dropped to I don't imagine he's going to be any better. So that's why I just keep going with Dillian Whyte. You know, the guy on screen there, Pricey, best avatar I could find. I would love to know what he thinks, because he actually is quite a good pundit. For all the jokes, Pricey is a decent pundit. You think you could take Prince Patel in a fight? That's probably a jig. I'm not like Coogan. I'm not going to walk up to him. I don't know. I'm a middleweight. He's a flyweight / bantamweight. I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. I was never that good. Mate. I was never that good. So probably not. You probably have the speed advantage over me. Big up to Liam evening, G-Man, and bless the chat. Hashtag G-Man's rocks. Big up to you, my man. Glad you're in here. Big up to the pugilists. Evening all. So D said he's back on between April 2nd and April 7th. Man, I'm looking for. I missed the live streams. It's been all like 2 weeks. I'm missing the live streams, bro. Because even if I don't always comment, I'm always listening, and they get me through the day, bro. Listen to the live. I miss them. The Speaking Man Sports family. For the love of sports. Let's talk about it. Exactly. It's taken me forever to get over it. The loss. It took you forever to get over the loss. The loss wasn't that bad. You know, I've never had a fighter where like someone's lost and I've been like, oh, I can't get over that loss. I've never had that with a fighter anyway. I've never been able to see a fighter be like, shit, you lost. I can't believe it. That's mad. Get over a loss. Big up to Wesley. Big up to Darren. Chris Congo always seems moody. I love his temperament. He just wants to hurt somebody. Chris Congo's a good fighter. And I reckon that he is good. It's probably going to be him versus Conor Benn next, I reckon. Him versus Conor Benn, I reckon. Provided both guys win. I reckon Conor Benn's going to be next for Chris Congo. That's a tough fight for Conor Benn. It's Chris Congo, when he fought Clay, was it Clay Luther Clay? It was Luther Clay, wasn't it? That's the guy's name. That was tricky. I thought that would be a tricky fight, and he went straight through it. I was impressed there. Sorry if I mentioned already, but thoughts on Frampton's fight being on YouTube? It's on YouTube, is it? Is it on YouTube? Like, are they actually going to televise it like the IFL? Or not on BT Sport? If that is the case, then that is very good. You're getting it. If it is, then that's great, because you're going to get a free fight. Unless they're doing some kind of Huey Fury versus Joe Parker kind of, you know what, where it was pay-per-view on YouTube. But if that's free on YouTube, that's a very good deal. Anything, especially a competitive fight like that, gets more eyes on the sport of boxing. So if you put a fight like that, and that will do good numbers if it's free on YouTube, you'll get more people looking at the sport of boxing. Jesus, that's an normal picture of Pricey. He's massive. That is unedited. That was him on Sky a couple of years ago. I only remembered it because I put a picture of him on the community tab the other day. And I said, I better save that for a live stream. Because in terms of all the other avatars I have, that's my favorite. You could use that, could go with that, could just use that if I wanted to keep it simple. But nah, we'll stick with this. I like this one. I'll stick with this one. Yo, big up to Joe Stunner every time, man. Big up to you, man. Evening all. Hope you're good. Just got home from work. How's that for timing? How is that for timing? That's what I said. I said I wouldn't know if I'd do one of these tonight because I had to get the haircut. You know, you've always got to look good. You've always got to get the haircut. I said, depends how early I get home, I'll do one of these or not. You're lucky. I got home just in time. Guaranteed action with Cheeseman on the card. Metcalf's going to win that fight. I'm telling you now. I'm seriously telling you now. Metcalf for me is going to win the fight. That's my pick. James Metcalf to win that fight. Daniel's going for Whyte stoppage round 6. Can't see it, man. Not that I can't see Whyte stopping him. I think if Dillian Whyte is going to stop this fight, it's likely going to be late on. I can see him having a good hard look at Povetkin and just thinking, hang on a minute, I don't want to get knocked out again. So I reckon it's going to be late. What's the G, man? Just watch Dwyer's new video on Joshua Fury. He's picking Fury. All right, right. So, lads, he's picking Fury, so we know who our money's going to be on. Dwyer's picking Fury. Let's all stick a rake of cash on AJ. Because if he's picking Tyson Fury, then that's it. We know who's going to win this fight. Do you remember when Lawrence Okoli called out Dwyer after his fight with Krzysztof Glowacki? This is a man who put money on Anthony Yildirim to beat Canelo. And Dwyer, I love Dwyer. I love watching Dwyer. But man, he makes some weird decisions. This is a man who picked Rod Salka to beat Danny Garcia. Dwyer, you got to big up Richard Dwyer. But he's picked Fury, right? We got to stick a rake of cash on AJ. You know, that's a sure sign who's going to win this fight. My man Dwyer's going with Fury. Right, let's put some money on AJ. AJ's undisputed. He's been jinxed. I really did. Oh no, that's not going the distance. No way. No way. No way. No way. No way. Yo, big up to Dale Clark. Unrivaled with just a question. No, it's not even just a full stop. Big up to Unrivaled anyway. Got big up to Mark every time. Every time, big up to Mark. I got Whyte's name wrong again. I believe this time Povetkin's enemy. I got Whyte again this time, but nah. Yeah, no, I'm going with Dillian Whyte. I thought you were saying Povetkin's gonna. No, you're saying Dillian Whyte. See, I'm reading these a bit too quick. Dillian Whyte to me, I can't see any other way, mate. Honestly, like it's just I can't see any other way. Sorry if I already answered. Only joined the cat. Is Dillian Whyte shot worn? That's a good question, and no one's asked me that. That's actually an interesting question that Dan's asked there. I definitely think Dillian Whyte, in terms of his best days, when I think Dillian Whyte was probably at his peak in terms of his ability and when he was probably in his athletic peak, was probably 2018. Probably 2018 and around that time when he was fighting the likes of Parker. He's had tough fights. Like Rivas was reasonably tough. And Rivas is apparently going to fight Brian Jennings again for the Bridgerweight world title. I mean, wow. That's an achievement. You know, that is right up there with me when I got 12 out of 12 in my spelling tests when I was in primary school, you know? I was the only guy who spelled Mississippi with 2 S's. Boom. That's right. That's the level of that achievement right there. But in terms of Dillian Whyte being shock worn, right. It's a good question. It's an interesting question. I guess, as you say there, Dan, we'll find out. But I definitely think his best days in terms of his, I'm not going to say he's miles removed, no, but he definitely could. It's an interesting question. We'll see this weekend. I mean, I definitely think in terms of his punch resistance, that's going to be gonzo. His punch resistance will never be quite right. I don't think it'll ever be quite the same after that knockout. It just depends how much it's diminished. It really does. Ah, man. Tony Boswell, big up to you, man. I'm glad to see you in the chat. I'm glad to see you here, but thank you so much for the £10. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. That's top status. Thank you, mate. Smash the like button and show support. Lads, if you could, by the way, it is free. I'm just going to chuck that out there. It is free just to smash the like button. And that helps out big time as well, you know. Really does help out the channel, you know. Helps your boy grow. Definitely does. I wonder if anyone putting any bets down this weekend. I still have money left over from Cheltenham. You know, Cheltenham was quite good. So I still have some money left over. So I'm dying to see what people are putting down, because I was watching Dell's video and he was saying basically that if you put Dillian Whyte or Alexander Povetkin down, if you're doing round betting, if you put a tenner down on rounds 1 to 6 or rounds 7 to 12. If that happens, either way, you're making a profit. Irrespective of that, you're making a profit. It's interesting, you know. I mean, like, I'm obviously picking Dillian Whyte to win, but that's interesting. Like, if you put down a bit of money on each way, you're gonna get something for it, you know. Now, when I think of each way, man, you'll know I'm not good at betting. Let me tell you this story from last week, right? There was a race at Cheltenham on the Wednesday where a 40 to 1 horse, the guys were all telling me, put money on him each way. And I'm no use at betting. Like, as I said, like, you get like some blind guy, stick him in a minefield. That's about as useful as I am, right? When it comes to betting, I had no idea. And I didn't realize that each way means he doesn't have to necessarily win the race. So they put it on this 40 to 1 horse. I put like 10 quid down. And as soon as they left, over the first hurdle, it went up to like, I could cash out, but I could get a profit of 5 quid. And I was like, holy shit, 40 to 1, I'm getting a 5 quid profit, cash out. And the lads were looking at me like, what the hell did you do that for? And I was like, well, he's up 5 quid. You know, I made a profit on a 40 to 1 horse. The horse came second, and all the lads got 100 quid. And I got a fiver. Yeah. I'm the only guy who can get away with that. Yeah, big up to Joe. Here's the fiver. Hashtag GMan's Rocks. Man, thank you. Big up to that, Joe. Thank you for that, Joe. I appreciate that. That is the fiver that will go on Dillian Whyte to win round 9. That's the. I'm going to take that fiver. I'm going to put it on Dillian Whyte to win round 9. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that. I appreciate that, bro. But I'm going to take that. I'm going to put it on Dillian Whyte to win in round 9. And I am missing so many of these chats. I am sorry, people. There we go. All gone quiet with Fury Joshua. What do you think, next or not? I'm thinking next, 100% next. To me, it's just they're waiting. I keep saying it, but I think they're waiting for the perfect time to announce it. I see Eddie Hearn today saying he wants to see if he can get it over the line for Wembley. Seriously, he says he wants to see if full attendance are allowed in by July. I can't see that happening. Not by July, certainly. By the end of the year, yeah, definitely, possibly, but not by July. So it's weird. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know where they're going to take it. I hope we see it. I think we're seeing it next. Personally, in my opinion, I think we're seeing Fury Joshua next. It's like I said, when they asked Dave Allen on TalkSport, you know, when I read that interview, he was just saying it won't happen. I'm like, based off of what? Why won't it happen? Elaborate. Will it not happen because of contractual disputes on this side, that, ego, location? It just won't happen. All right, brilliant. Thanks for that. As Ty Boot would say. That's a pretty good impression, G-Man. Yeah, man. You know me with the impressions. You know, I do The Wire. I do Coogan. Is you're there causing you sleepless nights? You know, do them all. Do Tony Bellew. You know, Mr. J. Right, G-Man, the king of ripped jeans and the king of the impressions. I worry for Dillian Whyte. I feel he will get dropped in this fight too. Povetkin's uppercut is dangerous. Yeah, win or lose, I reckon he's hitting the canvas. Win or lose, irrespective of whether win or lose, he's definitely, in my opinion, getting dropped. Definitely. It's just a case of whether he can get up or not. But I wonder, actually, did Paddy Power have odds on that? Dillian Whyte to win but get knocked down. I actually have a check of that because that's actually worked. If you can get odds on that, Dillian Whyte to get knocked down and win, might get some decent odds on that. That might be one to actually do. If you can get odds on Dillian Whyte to win after being knocked down, you might get decent odds on that. I think Fury will take place the earliest this fall. Really? I reckon he will as well. I'd be surprised if he just goes in there without a tune-up fight. I really do. I'd be very surprised. Because the longer you leave it, the more he's out of the ring, you know? What do you think's next for Lee McGregor? Will he be in the mix at world level? Lee McGregor surprised the hell out of me. You know, I picked him to win, but I didn't think he'd win in the first round. Lee McGregor is a very, very good fighter. Hell of a fighter. And he's improving as well. He's not the finished article. I'd like to see him in the mix at world level, definitely. He is definitely being fast-tracked. I mean, like British Commonwealth European. And he's only had, 11 fights? Maybe even less than that. But he's not afraid to lose. He's not afraid to take risks. I think put him in there at world level. I see Naoya Inoue is fighting a guy whose last name is extremely difficult to pronounce as a mandatory in June. Again, I would like to see him in the mix there with some better guys. But look, what can you do? There's some good guys at 118. You know, you got underneath the Nair, O'Bale, knocking around, and even guys like, I wonder what. No, that may be a bit too soon. But Naoya Inoue's brother, I forget his name. Is it Takui Inoue or something like that? He's knocking around there. I wonder if they could see if they could do something like that. Fully agree on Usyk boxing rings around Joe Joyce. I think he would also give AJ trouble. I was giving AJ trouble. Joe Joyce, though, Joe Joyce, I bet against him at my detriment before. Really have. Big up to George. Even it's nice to see my favorite plumber on screen in his big suit. Yeah, I made sure to get that there. Hay picked Whyte, so Whyte looked doomed. Oh, if David, I wonder. I haven't seen the Wires prediction video on this. I wonder who he's picking. Who else gives themselves a lockdown haircut? Not me. I wouldn't dare. Mate, I got the clippers and ended up with a mohawk, a Mohican, first since 1983. No, man, I got the hair done. It's nice, you know. Get it done like every 2-3 weeks, you know. Kind of back door, you know, knock on the door 3 times, all that good stuff. You know, a little haircut party, as J Dev would say if he's in the chat. No, it looked nice. It looked nice, you know. Yeah, nice, you know. 20 quid. 20 quid. The white boxing YouTubers are Team Fury. The black lads support AJ. Man, we don't want to get into that. Let's leave that. We leave that. We don't. Irrespective, may the best man win. I just look at it based upon who I believe, you know, style-wise and stuff like that. We don't get into that. We don't get into that. If AJ goes to Ruiz style, I reckon it's a snooze fest versus Usyk. He would need to be a bruiser approach. Yeah, him against Usyk in a pure boxing match. I don't know how that would go. I still reckon Usyk would give him nightmares, even if he did box him. Ade Oladipo picking Fury. I know. I seen his live stream where he picked Fury. I'm going back. I go back and forth some days, but I'm sticking with Fury now. Depends whether Freud's punch resistance might end up like David Price. I don't know. I don't think he's going to go that bad, but he's definitely sure as hell not going to have a granite chin. I'm telling you that now. Well, he never did, but he's sure as hell going to get hurt a lot easier now. He sure as hell will. Both to go down and Whyte KO 7-5. Oh, sorry. KO 7.5 worth a punt. That's not a bad shout. See, there's some good odds to be had for this. And big up to D every single time. Man, much respect to D Jeff. Every single time. Big up to D Jeff. Povetkin to get knocked down and win is 8-1. 8-1 is damn good. I wonder what people would have got for him in the first fight to get knocked down and win. I'd say the odds would have been better. That's not going to happen. To win in 60 seconds is 150-1. Well, it's 151 for a reason. I can't see that. Povetkin is not Mike Tyson. He is not going to do that. G-Man, what do you think? G-Man, what do you think of people that compare WWE to boxing? Well, there's no comparison. Like, I mean, like, I don't get that. I never understood that when they're like wrestlers this, wrestlers that. I never get it. There's no comparison. What? John Fury went to a feminist rally. He left with his shirt ironed. And that's fucking brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. That actually is great. I like that one. That is fucking tops, man. That's tops. That is fucking tops, mate. Oh my god, that is that is brilliant. Went to a feminist rally, left with a shirt on. That's John Fury in a nutshell. Man, John Fury. Oh mate. He is one of the very few guys I could just pop an IFL interview on and I will just listen. And just I'm especially when he starts ranting, it's just funny as fuck. It really is. Don't like sitting on the fences, but I feel the same way as I did for the first fight. Really could go either way. Yeah, the first fight, like I said many times, I had that just gut feeling. No, this is Dillian Whyte's going to win, but I was like, no, Povetkin's going to pull it off. He will. And then I was like, then I seen him in the first round, and I was like, oh, he's not going to win. What was I thinking? Yeah, well, always trust your gut feeling. It's never wrong. It's never wrong. Fury is going to demand the tune-up fight. We need to just wait and see what he says. We just need to really see what he says. Sub G man, please tell me that figure price. I'm telling you now, it's not. It's not. The full pick is him standing with Paul Smith. That's the full pick. It's the lack of fans and being able to travel until July at the earliest, which is the hold up. Yeah, that doesn't help. Yeah, that doesn't help, like, because it's not easy as hell to travel. It's not actually easy as hell to travel. Do a Eubank Senior impression. I can't do a Eubank Senior impression. One of my mates can do one better than me, but I can't really do a Eubank Senior impression. You know, I'm not. I can't. I don't know if I could even do it. Like, I couldn't do it as Eddie Hearn, and someone else is saying, "Yeah, G man, do it. Do a Chris Eubank Senior impression." I don't know if I could do a Eubank Senior impression. It'd be like, I'm gonna try it, obviously, but I don't know how would, like, because I can't get that voice right. It'd be like, I'm not. No, fuck. I'm not even gonna try it. I'm not even gonna try it because I'm gonna mess it up. I can't do a Eubank Senior impression. How's tricks at Easton's G man? It is what it is. It's paying the bills, bro. That's what it does. It pays the bills. There's some perks to it, though. Don't get me wrong. There is. There's some perks to it. Hearn is good at Eubank Senior. Yeah, Eddie Hearn is the man for Eubank Senior impressions. I just cannot do it properly. I'm telling you now. If I did that, yeah, Unrival's Kell Brook impression is good. Kell Brook, baby. Hey, I want that bitch can. I've had it with Golovkin. I want that bitch can. Yeah, I can't do a Kell Brook impression. That's Mark's forte. If I was to do a Eubank Senior impression, my son, Junior, this man, it is my son, Junior. He is dangerous. He would destroy you. That's about as good as you're going to get. And you'd be lucky you got that. I got the tick and showed Johnny he didn't believe me till I showed the tick from the casino. G-Man, what do you think is more impressive? Holmes getting up after the Shaver shot or Fury getting up after the Wilder shot? I've watched that Shaver shot so many times. I have no idea how Larry Holmes got up from that shot. I really don't. I really, truly don't. How he got, like, the shot from Wilder was great. I both don't know how either guy got up from it. And I both don't know how either guy were able to survive. I mean, like, that Ernie Shaver shot was holy hell. I remember, I only watched that a few weeks ago. That was fucking, how he got up from that is beyond me. Evening to Ra. As I said, if Whyte and Chisora lose their next fight, they'll each end up on pay-per-view. They may very well do. What's Mark asking me? Because I can see it highlighting up there. Where is it? Where's Mark's question? Please don't do Kell Brook again. I won't do it. Fair enough. I won't do it. Well, as I said, you're the man for the Kell Brook impressions, not me. That's why I can't do Kell Brook. Thank you for the €2, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you. You didn't have to put it down just to say don't do Kell Brook. I won't do him again. Right? I'll leave that up to you. You're the Kell Brook impressionists. And I actually don't really know what his voice sounds like, to be fair. I've heard him a few times, but I can't do a Daniel Keenan impression. Can't do that. I don't know. The impressions are one thing. They really are. Yo, lads, if you could, 55 in the chat, and if you could, smash the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Lads. I appreciate that. If Chisora loses, Chisora versus Dubois could happen at the end of the year, according to Rob Tebbert. That's interesting. Did they ever try? No, that was Joe Joyce. They tried to get Chisora in there with a couple of years ago. That was Joe. That'd be interesting. Daniel Dubois. I wonder who they're going to match him with coming back, because they're probably going to want to take their time with Daniel Dubois. And to be fair to Dubois, there is no rush, really. He is only, 23, 24. There's no great amount of rush with Daniel Dubois. He really is just, with Mark Tibbs, I need to see how he looks. He's just so out there, Daniel Dubois. I think I said it in a video once. Could you imagine Daniel Dubois going up and chatting to a woman? Like on a night out, and just to see what he said, just be like, "Hey, yeah, boxer, yeah." It'd be literally kind of like that, like just kind of snail's pace conversation. It looks so awkward as well. It'd be tragic, but yeah, pick up hashtag G-Man's Rocks. It'd be funny though. G-Man, what was the fight and the fighter when a boxer was just gross out of shape? Where there was a fight where you just thought, did he even train? Two fights come to mind. One was Rydell Broker. Yeah, it was Rydell Broker or Booker. I think it's Booker against that lad. What's his name? Filip Ergovic. And there's been a few, to be fair. There was your man Flores, Alexander Flores, when he fought mainly heavyweights, to be honest with you, when he fought Luis Ortiz. There's been a few others as well. There has been a few others. There's been a few others. I just don't want to be getting any more goddamn messages saying I'm a little fuck. So I'm not going to name a certain KO'd Kennedy, but I know for a fact he didn't train when he fought Babbage. But I didn't say his name. I just said Officer KO'd Kennedy. I know he didn't fucking train. Just watched your interview from Maddie a year ago. Pity about the Rona, because the format was really enjoyable. Yeah, that was. I remember that. That was like February last year. That was like literally the 1st of February, just before before all the madness happened. Yeah. That was annoying. That would have been nice, because we planned on meeting up again in like May, because we thought of all this and this, that, and the other. And yep, planned on it all. And what can you do? 2020. Look, the way things are now with me, things are happening in my personal life outside of YouTube that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for 2020. So I kind of have to look on you have to look on the bright side. There's always a bright side. Would still be intriguing a Whyte Chisora trilogy. Yeah, it would be. It'd be interesting, all right. You're always guaranteed a good fight. I'm telling you that. G-Man, do you think Eubank Jr. versus Kell Brook fight Eddie Hearn was on a bit? No way. And if he did, that's really, that's not good for Eddie Hearn, to be honest with you, because Kell Brook really is way past it now. His last fight was at welterweight, fighting Eubank Jr. at middleweight. Come on now, he is going to get absolutely battered from pillar to post. I wouldn't like to see it. I hope Kell Brook retires. Seriously, I wouldn't like to see it. So just bang the $5 on your round 9 tip. Promise I'll super chat you Sunday if it comes in. I will hold you up to that, Dan. And 16-1, that's not bad odds, actually. That's actually good. If that comes true, big up to you. I hope I'm gonna put £5 on round 9 as well. So fingers crossed we get there. Fingers crossed that comes in. Big up to you. I'm praying that comes true for you, mate. G-Man, good evening. Good evening to Helene. Big up to you. Let's get the likes up to 50. We got more than 50 watching. Smash the motherfucking like. Exactly, D. Get the likes up. We need 6 more likes. Can we get 6 more likes and we're at 50 likes? I'd appreciate that. Your boy's in a good mood, How heavy will Whyte come in tomorrow? He'll come in around the 250s, I reckon. In around the 250s. He's not going to lose any weight or any significant amount of weight. He's going to come in more in the 250s. That's what I reckon. He's going to come in the 250s. My favorite. Oh, I remember that. I don't know why Tony Bellew's being cheeky. Why is he being cheeky? I wonder if he ever found out the reason. I don't know. I remember that interview when he's like, don't stick to the light heavyweights or unknown cruiserweights. I don't even think you could beat me. And I'm washed up, finished. You couldn't beat me, mate. I remember that interview well. That was funny. John Fury. Stick to the light heavyweights or unknown cruiserweights. That was funny. Virgil Ortiz versus Sean Porter. Holy shit, man. I don't know who I'd take in that fight, to be honest with you, mate. Porter is a warrior. And the winner, and Porter is mandatory as far as I'm aware for the WBO. I think he is anyway, or WBC, one or the other. Is it WBC or WBO? It's one or the other. But damn. That would be, I would just, I might even take a stab and go with Virgil Ortiz to win that fight. You know that? I would. To be honest, I thought Sean Porter was on the decline after he lost the key tournament. He's really come back over the years. You know, he really has. LG, man, did you see the tweet from Benson and he messaged Usyk? I only glanced at it, mate. MVJ, I only glanced at it. I didn't read fully into it, to be honest with you, but I'll definitely have a look at it. I'll definitely have a look at it when I finish up here. I can impersonate Daniel Keenan. Nah, mate, I can't. I live in a completely different area. That's the one thing I can't. I can barely do other dub accents. You know, I can do the real like, you know, yeah, you understand me, kind of in a city, you know, like that. But I can't do any other accents other than that, man. Can barely. I think Whyte is going to be aggressive. No, I think he will be, but it'll be controlled aggression. I think he'll be aggressive at the start. Make no mistake about that. But I think he'll be caught at the start, I should say. But definitely towards the mid rounds, that's when he might see him get a bit more aggressive. But he's not going to go full blown aggressive from the start when Povetkin is fresh. He could walk into something then. Any thoughts on Ben Askren versus Jake Paul? Not really pugilist, to be honest with you. I hadn't heard of Ben Askren because I'm not a UFC fan, but I seen the images of him striking. Holy good Jesus Christ in heaven. He looks terrible striking. I mean, like, really bad. So, yeah, man, good luck, man. If Chisora gets pounded by Parker, he might finally retire. Someone said to me that they seen a video of Chisora on IFL. I haven't seen it yet, and they were worried about his speech. They were saying he's definitely sounded a bit slurred. I haven't seen it yet. I have to have a look at it. Yeah, actually, how could I forget about that? AJ Ruiz, where Ruiz admitted himself he didn't train properly. Big up to D. And yeah, Rydell Booker, AJ Ruiz. I know Flores. Flores took a dive. Yeah, he barely trained for that fight. And then obviously KO'd Kennedy. You know, that's what we call him, Officer KO'd Kennedy. You know, I'll leave it open to interpretation who that is. G-Man, there's a show called 90 Day Fiance where people from other countries get together and marry in 90 days. Do you think that's long enough to really get to know someone? Or are women after better life? Or are women after better life? Jesus, man, you're asking me that question. 90 days and get married? The only time I would say maybe is if you've known that person for a couple of years before and you've had a good relationship with them as maybe mates or something like that, maybe. But even then, that's way too soon. Jesus, man, like that's the kind of shit that's on TV nowadays. That's why I don't watch a lot of television. I watch movies and sports. That's it. I don't watch like TV series and shit like that. I don't watch any of that because that's bizarre. You know, I remember I walked into the kitchen one day and they had a bleeding they were doing a trailer for the show where it's like Dinner with the Enemy, where they get like the polar opposites of people and they meet together. I'm just like, what kind of crap is that? Like the level of what you need for a TV show to be successful now is just so low. And like I don't really watch any sitcoms or anything like that. I watch movies mainly and just some documentaries, and that's really it. I don't watch anything else and stuff like that. That would not interest me at all, mate. By the way, that would just, if you're talking about to be marrying after knowing each other for a few years, maybe decide or something like that, even then it's too soon. But I could maybe say, do you know what? They know each other for that long. They've only got together. Maybe. All right. But just meeting someone from it. No, man. I don't know how they put that kind of stuff on TV. Seriously. Andre versus Williams card just got announced. Full card. I haven't seen that actually. I have to have a look and see who's on it. If you want to let me know who's on it, MVG, you're more than welcome to. British Boxing Board of Control should not sanction that fight. Well, they could do it. If they do that fight, they could do it in America. I'm sure there's a state that would be willing to sanction it. I really hope not. I really hope not. I hope for Kell Brook's sake, I hope not. I mean, for Eubank, yeah, it's a win. It's a name, but Kell Brook, he's over the hill and far away. Is Kell Brook. G-Mac, can you see a collie making an impact there? Does he beat Bradis? The Bradis fight is really interesting to me. I really find Myris Bradis versus a Coley interesting. I might even pick a Coley to win that fight. At heavyweight, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see him, like, how do I word it? Like, I don't see him winning world titles at heavyweight, but I don't see him being an easy night's work for heavyweight either. I worry about his chin, because he's been chinned a few times in the amateurs. I remember I said before, Erislandy Savon knocked him out in the first round. He dropped him a couple of times in Rio when they rematched in Rio. And like, his advantage at cruiserweight is he's bigger, he's got the longer reach, he's got the physical strength. You go to heavyweight, you'll take a lot of that away. So it's really like his whole benefit of cruiserweight is I'm massively bigger, massively longer. When they get close, I can tie them up. You go up to heavyweight, that's all gone. For the most part anyway, depending on who you're fighting. But, like, one of that is, like, say a collie is fighting someone like a Marius Vac. Not necessarily saying I pick him to lose, I pick Marius Vac to win. But Marius Vac is bigger than a collie. Marius Vac's got a decent reach, decent punching power, granite chin, just as strong as a collie. So how would a collie, what would he do differently? If you know what I mean? Like, exactly what would he do differently in that sense? Because if you look at someone like Matty Askren, who is not small, who is a decent size, but Cody's had to shut him down by just tying him up. Against someone like Marius Vac in a clinch or something like that, it's very different. And someone like Huey Fury, who is big, tall, and long, he's just going to keep that at range. For the most part, that's what Huey Fury normally does. What is a Cody going to do differently? Those are the things that I wonder about. That's why when I look at him at cruiserweight, I think problem from all cruiserweights. A heavyweight, it's a different ballpark. Make sure. Look, a Coley should make his heavyweight debut against Christopher Lovejoy, and that will tell us a lot about him. If he can go in and beat Christopher Lovejoy, I'll be very impressed. All joking aside. But if he can do something at heavyweight, like he could probably win maybe European titles at cruiser or heavyweight, but world title, no, I'm not seeing it. Dubois could probably get some ratchet chick off of his minor celebrity status. Yeah, you probably could, that at the end of the day. But I think the awkwardness of him is just be weird. What do you think of people? I would say small-minded people that think boxers are all aggressive and SOS that couldn't get another job. There are a lot of boxers who could easily do other things. Like, it's a tragic story, but Patrick Day, he had what was it? Did he have a degree? Well, I know he was from a fairly well-to-do family. He didn't need to box. He boxed for the love of it. It's just a shame what happened to him. It's very sad what happened to him. But there's a perfect example. That's someone who didn't need to box. He did it for the love of it. They don't do it because they can't do anything else. They do it for the love of it for the most part. Like me, I done fuck all as an amateur, or even, I never had a pro fight, but I'd still spar for the love of it, If Taylor can unify, who, in your opinion, is his next fight at 147? I don't know. It's a good question. Would they go straight into a fight, or would they get I don't know. That's a good question, actually. Who would they get him in there at 147 with? They probably wouldn't give him a massive test early on. It'd probably be a reasonably straightforward enough win just to test the waters in at 147. But I don't know. Like, playing matchmaker for Taylor. Porter style could give Crawford some problems with his style. I definitely think so. 100%. I think that Crawford against that Kavalaskis guy showed that, someone who's going to put on the pressure beyond like a bad smell could cause him a world of issues. I hope Chisora's speech isn't slurred. he somehow managed to take numerous violent beatings and keep his speech intact. Hopefully not now. Well, like that, mate. I haven't seen it, so it's I can't say yay or nay whether it is. And someone said last week that they think that they know it was a deterioration in it. Again, like that, I haven't seen it, so I actually can't say yay or nay. I would never say yay or nay if I didn't know. To be honest, I have to have a watch of it. No, I think Taylor would win that fight. Pretty straightforward. Like Tank's in hot water again by the looks of things. Again, he's in hot water. But I think now that Taylor would win that. Molina bottled it against Hrgovic, wasn't hit clean and looked for a way out. Yeah, Molina has always had questionable heart. You know, when it gets tough in there, he always has found one. Like, other than the Wilder fight where he did show good heart, he always has had questionable heart, Eric Molina. Always. Texas would sanction it. Yeah, they would. Man, Texas are fully out, but they'd sanction anything. They'd sanction any fight. They wouldn't give a shit. They would not give a shit. There's plenty of states in America. See, that's why someone like Jarrell Miller is going to box again, in my opinion, irrespective of his ban. Because some state will give him, like Rhode Island or somewhere like that, would give him a license, no problem. Povetkin to win the battle of the left hooks in rounds 1 or 4. Never trade with a hooker. Never hook with a hooker. That's the old saying, never hook with a hooker, because their hooks are cleaner, faster, and they're well delivered. And Povetkin's left hook is no joke. She's always one of my favorite fighters today, but I hope he retires soon. It's quite remarkable to me that he is still, you know, a pay-per-view, coming off back of a loss as well, that he is still there. It's quite incredible when you think about it, really. I thought Lawrence, so did I actually, Nick. I really did as well. I was thinking exactly the same. That's still a good fight, but he is, I have to respect Lawrence Okoli. Like, he really, there's no give in him. Like, he wants the big names, the big fights, and the toughest in the division. He really doesn't pull no punches. Fair play to him. I admire that about him. I like that about Okoli, and he's improved dramatically. Like, I remember watching him very early on in his career, thinking this guy is going to get. I picked Isaac Chamberlain to beat him, and I was thinking this guy is no, and he is. Now I look at him and I think, yes, you have improved. You're not the fighter I thought you'd be. Definitely not, and I'm happy to be proven wrong. I like it when these fighters prove me wrong, because I want to be proven wrong. When I write a fighter off, or if I see him and I think, nah, I'm hoping they prove me wrong, because we're all open to be proven wrong. Everyone, whether it's YouTube or not. Cody says he's going to Bruiser or Bridgerweight after unifying a cruiserweight. Just moved to heavyweight. Yeah, Bridgerweight is going to die, man. That weight is going to die a slow death. Will Javante do some time? I heard he got charged with 14 offense, basically a hit and run at Lambeau. Holy shit. What is it with these guys? Like, I don't know. What is it with these guys? I don't know how they get it. Like, I just see. I just can't put myself in their shoes. I can't even see it from that end. I don't know how they do it. Jesus Christ, man. He may very well get something, but it probably won't be anything major. It probably won't be anything major. G-Man, I agree with Dubois chatting up women at bar will be awkward as hell, but he's still a good. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The guy seems like a nice guy. It's just, he just something so awkward about him, you know. It's just that whole, you know, it's that demeanor. Like, it's just, there's nothing there, you know. It's just very much a, yeah, all right, just like that, talking in slow motion, just like that, you know. It's just very, it's bizarre, you know, and that's why I said having someone like a Ben Davison, you know, who is a good trainer, but having that camp with Lee McGregor, Lee Wood, Josh Taylor, probably missing names here, but having all them would definitely help in terms of just probably bringing the character out there, being around the lads. Billy Joe was in camp with Tibbs, and I wonder how that would do. You never know, but maybe someone like that would be able to teach him better technical skills, but also bring out something in Dubois. You know, just bring him out of his shell. That's what he needs, I think. LOL Fury knocked out Lovejoy in the first round. I would well and truly believe that. one shot gets knocked out by one shot. I'd well believe that. Christopher Lovejoy, good old one shot himself. Him against KO'd Kennedy. Now that'd be a fun fight. That'd be a really fun fight. Him against Officer KO'd Kennedy. Or him against Dave Allen is the fight I want to see. That's the fight I want to see. I'm probably in the majority in believing that the stop off at Bridgerweight would be good. Would be a good thing for O'Coley. It probably would, because it would get him acclimatized to fighting bigger guys. But saying that, as you say there, but fights with some of the smaller heavyweights like Rivas would be a good test. It would, but I think the best test for O'Coley would be to fight someone as in like a Marius Wack, someone who he should beat, but someone who is bigger than him, longer than him, doesn't hit as hard, but can take a shot. Someone like a Marius Wack over 10 rounds would be a great fight for O'Coley to get in and just get acclimatized to the heavyweight division, because it's fairly low risk. Marius Wack's definitely seen better days. So someone like him, it'd be a great way to get, your feet wet in the heavyweight division. In my opinion, that's what I think. There were some great boxers who loved the Barreras from a wealthy family, and Marquez was a lawyer. Yeah, Marco Antonio Barrera, his family were very well off in Mexico. He didn't need the box. There's been plenty. Muhammad Ali's family were blue collar. They weren't. Muhammad Ali could have gone any other way, but they boxed for the love of it. Who else was? There's just been so many. There's been so many. Like, it's just, who do I think of? I know, as I said, it's sad. It's very sad. Patrick Day. That's tragic what happened to him. But there's been so many where they didn't necessarily need to box. They did it for the love of it. I think Ray Boom Boom Mancini's family weren't too bad off. If memory, I watched a documentary about him on Dooku Kim, and I'm pretty sure his family weren't too badly off. Ray Boom Boom Mancini. Hell of a fire. Hell of a fire. I would personally, Ben, I would pick Josh Taylor to win that fight. I'd pick Josh Taylor to beat Teofimo Lopez if they fought. That's just my opinion. What do we know about Campbell Hatton's style? Well, to be honest with you, mate, I'm gonna find out on Saturday, because I've never seen him fight as an amateur or anything. So I honestly couldn't tell you. We'll need to see him fight. He's fighting a guy who's 0-10. Seen some people getting a bit upset about that. At the end of the day, it's the kid's pro debut. Look, obviously, like, you'd want someone a little bit durable or someone like that, but look, it's the pro debut. We'll give him that. But I haven't seen any of Campbell Hatton, so we'll soon find out when he gets in the ring. The minute he gets in the ring, we'll see how he looks, and who knows? Who knows? Big up to Nick. So, gotta go. Prior engagements. Peace to all. Smash the like button on the way out. Hashtag GMansRocks. Nick, big up to you. Thank you for stopping by, as always. You, Tony, Joe, love having you guys in the chat. Always, always, always. Big up to you. I hope you enjoy. We're not going to go much. I only said I wanted to do an hour tonight, so we're not much longer. I don't mean this in the disrespect way, but I think Daniel Dubois is on the spectrum of autism or Asperger's. He's painfully shy. You could be right there, Joe. I wouldn't rule it out. You could be right. I've met shy people in my life who are painfully shy, but they've never been. They will come out of they will come out of, what's the word, their shadow from time to time. But with Dubois, it's painful, like how shy he is. Like, you really do wonder what's going on up there, how shy he is. It's bizarre. Yeah, he probably will, to be honest. Will be spoon-fed opponents for the next 3 years, like Conor Benn. Like that, I don't know what Campbell Hatton's amateur background was like. I know Conor Benn had very few. Like, Conor Benn fought a who's he up until he fought Cedric Payneau. And then thereafter, he really only started stepping up when, like, pretty much last year was when Conor Benn really started to step up a bit, when he fought Formella. And like, people say he's done a better job on him than Sean Porter. Sean Porter never even got out of first gear in that fight. He really didn't. I don't think Sean Porter was motivated at all for that fight. And you could tell straight after, whereas Conor Benn was, elated. We need, I'll reserve judgment till I see Campbell Hatton. I'm not going to say yay or nay that this fighter is this fighter is that. I've never seen him fight as an amateur. I'll see him as a pro. It's probably not going to tell us much the guy he's fighting, but it might give us a rough idea as to what he is, whether he's a pressure fighter. Well, give us a rough idea, So we'll need to wait and see. Like at the end of the day, there are certain fighters. People say you can't judge them on how they look. Some of them you can. Like I remember when Conor Ben's brother turned pro, and he looked shocking from the get go. I was like, this guy's going nowhere, and it wasn't the nicest way. And he did. He ended up losing to that guy. I forget what was the guy's name, Lee Harden or something like that. He was like 0-17 or something like that. It was really, really bad. Would you put Ricky Burns near the level of Dubois? Not saying autism level, but painfully shy. No, Ricky Burns never came across as that bad. No, Daniel Dubois is just it bizarre for me. Like when I look at it, it's just like it's just bizarre, I never seen anything like it. I think Conor Ben improves vastly. I hear a lot of people dismissing him, but I think he's developing very impressively. Joe, when I saw Conor Ben early on in his career, I really thought he's going nowhere fast. And when I seen him fight, what was the guy's name? I just said his name, Paynow. I was like, do you know what? You're going life and death with a journeyman over 6 rounds. I mean, that sums it up. But God, he has improved. I mean, it's next level how much he's improved. And that's why I always say I like it. When I look at a fighter and I think they're going to go this way, I hope they prove me wrong. I really, honestly hope they prove me wrong. Because I always think you're always open to be proven wrong. And I want these fighters to do well, have good careers, irrespective of my opinion of them. And I hope they prove me wrong. And Conor Ben so far has been proving me way wrong. Way wrong. Daniel Dubois, nice but dim. Yeah, he's a cool guy, definitely, but there's not a lot there. He's very quiet, so move on. He is quiet, but it's the kind of way he comes across. It's just so it's bizarre. Bizarre to me. Because I'm someone who I like understanding kind of how his psychology of people works and stuff like that. So when I see someone like that, it's just like, wow, it's just like what's going on, what's going on in there. What's going on there? Ben comes across as someone with insane work ethic. Yeah, Ben's definitely put the work in. If he didn't put the work in, then definitely he would have lost a long time ago. Oh, big up to Jeff. What's good, G-Man, and the chat. Jeff, big up to you, my man. And you came in at probably the worst possible time because I'm going to call this here, lads. I wanted to give you a stream for the week because I always do one during the week, but right now I'm calling it. Big up to everyone. Big up to everyone. We have much to discuss. We will have much to discuss on Sunday. Either way, Sunday evening, we will have much to discuss about this fight and what happens. But for now, lads and lassies, if you could smash the like button on the way out, I'd appreciate that. Big up to Jeff. Obviously, big up to Joe every time. Big up to you, my man. Big up to Nick, unrivaled. All the guys we've had in here. We've had D Jeff. We've had all them. So big up to all you lads. For now, I'm going to call it here. Exactly. Big up to Dillian as well. Hashtag G-Man's Rock Sunday cool. Yeah, no, usual time. Sunday evening, 6, 6:30. Whatever happens in this fight on Saturday night, we are going to be discussing it sharp Sunday, 6, between 6 and 6:30. We'll be discussing it here as we always do. I big up to Dan every time. I hope that I'm putting money on that 9th round as well. Let's, for our sake, hope that bet comes true. Right? We go get our misses something nice on Sunday. So big up to you, man. Big up every time. Lads and lassies, I'll talk to you tomorrow at some stage. Peace.